Right, hello, so welcome to another video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about an absolutely insane haul pickup that I went to collect just recently, actually just today. I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory on the whole thing. So basically, there was like a local ad in like a shop window. It's like a post office window. I've got a picture of it, so I'll put that up. And in there, he basically said PlayStation PSP. Okay, it was a PSP console, boxed, 20 quid. And then there was a couple of other bits in there. There was some like Funko Pops, Star Wars. I was not interested in any of that. So my main focus of the whole thing was to go and get this PSP. So I phoned the guy up and he said, yeah, I've got it. You know, I said, have you still got it? He said, yeah, I've got it. No one's phoned for it yet. So I said, okay, great. I said, I'll be interested, and I'll pop down. I went down there, and I mean, I couldn't believe it. So basically, I went down, I picked the PSP up, which is lovely. Okay, got that in its box, absolutely lovely. Taken this all out and powered it all up. Everything works fine, so that's good. Happy with that. Okay, that's what I went down to get. While I was there, I noticed he was sort of in the middle. It looked like he was in the middle of moving. There was a lot of boxes everywhere. He was telling me about it. You know, him and his partner, him and his wife, and you know they were in the middle of sort of a transition between houses. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, so I said, you know, have you got any other stuff? He said, yeah, I've got, you know, these two crates, big crates here, is all full of like gaming stuff, and yeah. So we opened it up, and then there it was. And anyway, cut a long story short, I basically offered him 100. I said, what can I get for 100 quid? There was like PS3, PS2, whole stack of games, boxed Wii, Mega Drive, the, you know, like the HD sort of emulator Mega Drives, just loads of like joypads. What else was there? Another 2 Wiis, I think. Anyway, a whole load of stuff. And I said, basically, what can I get for 100 quid? He said, you can have all of it for 100 quid. So I wasn't even going to argue that. I wasn't even going to look through it. I'd had a sort of rough glance over it all. I was happy with what I got, what I'd kind of in my head. In my head, I was thinking, because I had already sort of put the PSP aside. For 100 quid, if he'd have probably said, you know, you can have the PS3 and the games and the PS2 and the games, I probably would have been, I would have probably been there or thereabouts, you know, because there was a load of PS3 games that I noticed that I didn't have. So I thought, well, anyway, the fact that you turned around and said, oh, you can have all of it, you know, I was amazed at. So there you go, I'll show you what it was. Right, so I'll go through this. I've tried to kind of lay it out. So I've laid all the consoles out first, and then I'll go through the games after. So this is the haul that we paid 100 quid for. So the reason, this was a local ad, and the reason I went down there is because of this. So there was a PSP for £20. There were some other things on the ad. It was like a, you know, local ad in like the post office window. And he did mention that he did have some other bits. There wasn't much detail on there. So went down for this PSP. This is really nice condition. I've had this open and powered up. Everything's fine. That was £20. So I wasn't even going to argue with that. Because I know that, you know, that probably could get sort of 60, 70 anyway if I wanted to flog that on. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep that. That's what I wanted. That's what I went down there for. And when I went down there, I said, do you happen to have any more stuff? And he said, yeah. Him and his brother, I think, used to do a bit of trading and bits and bobs back in the day. And he said, yeah, we've got all sorts of bits. And anyway, so he brought down 2 boxes of stuff. So we got chatting and that. And basically I said, you know, what will 100 quid get me? And he said, you can have everything. I got the impression he wanted to get rid of it all, so fair enough. So let's go through it. So we got the PSP, which is obviously, as we've already spoken about, the Mega Drive flashback, the little HD sort of emulator jobs. But that's pretty decent. That's got 85 games installed already on it. So that one there. This Call of Duty, this is not a console. This is, or a game, sorry. This is one of those little, like, hang on a minute, I can get it open. It's got all sorts of, it's like a figure, a hat and bits and bobs in there. So that was thrown in. The Wii, which is in superb condition, comes with, it's got 4 controllers in there, and it's also got the little Motion Plus add-ons. So that's really good. There's another Wii here, which was all loose. But again, like, really good condition. That one's got the Motion Plus inside. That one there has got the little Motion Plus on the end. So, and I'm yet to test any of this stuff. But anyway, so that's a loose Wii. Then we had PS2, the fat model. For me, I think the best looking one of the lot. Yeah, so there's that. And that come with the leads and an unofficial controller, but leads and everything like that in there. So again, I haven't tested that one. Then we had the PS3, and with the PS3 it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 controllers, all of kind of varying sort of condition. I mean, that one there I can almost tell straight away is a dud. That one there looks white, 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 that one there is missing one of its rubbers off the pad bit, but that, it might be right. And then this nice one here, this nice red one, I mean, if this one powers up, if this one works, that's probably a 20-25 quid controller. But anyway, so yeah, PS3 just come with a power lead. So that alone, I mean, I don't know. Well, I'll probably do like a little rundown of the sort of maybe the values at the end. But yeah, anyway, so that's the first part. And also there was this, which is not worth anything. This is like a flight simulator joystick. Flight 2000. It's not worth a lot. I've already looked it up. It'd be about a £5 or something like that. Anyway, yeah, that was chucked in as well. So now on to the games. So first one was this little gem of a case. This was just like a Game Boy Advance case. He said to me, "That's not a Game Boy in there. There's just a few cards in there." I didn't even open it. I just, he said, "Yeah, just chuck that in the bag." Opened it up. So we got Deja Vu 1 and 2 for the Game Boy Color. We got Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color. Castlevania for the Game Boy Advance. And there's a couple more, which is kind of like, we've got Tweety, which is Rayman Advance. Okay, so that was a little bonus, really. Didn't know about any of them in there. A few PSP games. PS2 games, there was only 3, but that one at the bottom is quite a nice little one. The Crash Bandicoot Action Pack, there's 3 games in there. That's quite a decent piece. There was 6 PS4 games. Nothing really amazing on that. A nice little stack of PS1. That one there is quite a nice title. That can pull between 20 and 30 quid on its own. A couple of Tony Hawk's games. That's just an old Three Lions one. Spider-Man, Spyro the Dragon. Good, nice condition boxes anyway. A whole stack of Xbox 360, some of which obviously will go in my Xbox 360 collection, and a load of which, as doubles and that, I'll just flip on. I'll see I've got some jumbled up there. Let's go for the Wii, and that's for that. And then a whole load of PS3, a lot of kind of what you would, the sort of staple PS3 stuff. But then there's a couple of pretty decent ones. Minecraft Story Mode, and then Hot Wheels World's Best Driver. These games are probably like 15 quid each, so that's not too bad. A pretty decent little bundle of Wii stuff, which I'm not into at all, so I'll probably be selling all of it on. But obviously comes with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, and then a load of games, and then some sort of oddball games really. There's one Xbox One there, Star Wars Battlefront, and then 2 for the DS. So there you go. I mean, the whole thing, all of them games and all of them consoles plus the other bits and bobs, 100 quid. Really happy with that. So yeah, I'll try and break down what I think it's worth now. So that's kind of where we sort of are. And then I'll kind of split everything out. So a whole stack of the games which I've put aside, and then a whole stack of the games which I want to keep. So these are the games that I'm going to keep, stuff that I haven't got. So some nice PlayStation 1 titles, a whole load of PS3 which I don't have, which I'm really happy about. Some nice titles there. Those two at the top are quite good value in terms of what they resell for. PSP ones, a couple of videos. Scarface with the PSP, nice. PS4, 3. I mean, none of them are worth anything, but I don't own them. That Crash Tag Team Racing, Twinsanity and Nitro Kart. That's like a triple pack. That's quite good value. And then a load of Xbox 360. Nothing too big. Incredible Hulk, probably a tenner. Iron Man, like 7-8 quid. So they're not bad. And so all of that I'm going to keep. That's really good. I'm really happy about that. And then the ones I've sorted out in here, basically, these are all ones I've already got. So I'm not going to keep any of these. When I say I've already got, I might have them on other consoles, for example, like that. I think I've got that on Xbox 360. Actually, no, it's not that one. That one I've got on a Steelbook version, so not interested in that. And then there's a load of games like things like this I might have on PS3, so I'm not going to keep them just for the sake of keeping them. So a lot of that's going to get reflipped. All the games in here, which is for various Game Boys, I think Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color. So, and then all of that, I don't know whether to bundle it, whether to trade it in at CEX. I mean, there's some PS1, some half decent PS1, nothing big by any means, but Spyro, Tony Hawk's 1, Tony Hawk's 2, and then 3 Lions. There's a couple more PS4 down there, load of PS3, load of Xbox 360, which I've already got, and then a couple of PS2. So all of that can get flipped on, traded in, or something with it. I'm not sure yet, but we will decide. So this is what I mean. That's why it was a no-brainer deal. When he said 100 quid, it was a no-brainer, because probably the content of that box, of that bag, including that bag goes for sort of 10, 15 quid, plus those 3 games. That's not going to be far off money back just in that bag, which is mental. And then if you obviously, I've shown you the consoles and everything else that went with it, but that's kind of the plan. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I just want to jump in real quick. One of the things I didn't actually mention, I didn't actually show it on the clip just then, is there was another little thing, which is this 3DS. This was actually bundled in with it as well. He said he can't power it up. It doesn't power up, and it hasn't got a charger or anything. But that was also in there as well, and I just realised that I didn't actually show it. But anyway, back to the video. So I mean, as I said in them, the kind of gems, the gem pieces is this 3DS, which doesn't power up. So I've just ordered a little cheap charger. I don't have one. Really hope that works. If that works, that'll pay for the whole thing basically. But so yeah, that I'm really hoping that works. So we'll have a look at that. And then the little Game Boy Advance pouch, which he said to me, oh, the Game Boy's not in there. He just sort of chucked it in the box. He said, oh, the Game Boy's not in there. I said, oh, that's fine. And then when I got it home, I had a look inside. And there was like a whole, not a load of them, but about 5 or 6 games. I'll just go through these. You got Deja Vu 1 and 2 for the Game Boy Color. Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color. And then 3 Game Boy Advance games, which I don't know what that one's like. Rayman Advance doesn't look that good. Tweety, something or other, not that special. And then an absolute gem at the end, Castlevania. So, I mean, those 3 carts there, as I've said, will get a lot of the money back. You know what I mean? And that's going to go a long way towards paying for all of this. That's why I wasn't that bothered about it. I didn't know, to be fair, I didn't know about these games in here, but now I've looked at the whole thing over. There's more than enough that's going to cover this, and there should be some good profit in it. I mean, I'd say I haven't priced it up sort of exactly. I mean, in terms of games, I mean, some of the games that I'm keeping, as I kind of showed you in that earlier little clip, I mean, this Need for Speed on the PS1, that can fetch 30 quid. So, not too bothered really. Spider-Man and everything like that. And an absolute classic OSS 2. I mean, this is what I mean. I mean, that bundle of games there, that and then obviously if the 3DS works, then it's a goldmine. So I think, and this is, I'd probably say 500 quid. There's got to be 500 quid's worth of stuff here. If this works, that's probably £100. Those Game Boy games, let's say conservative 60 quid. This little stack of PS1, which is, say, another 60 quid there. You know what I mean? That's 220 or so, and that's without even touching any of the consoles really. PS3 with a load of games, PS2, boxed Wii, and that Wii is really good. It's actually got the motion control, the sort of add-on, the motion controllers. The second Wii as well has got the extra stuff, which all just adds on. I reckon it's got to be close. It's got to be close to maybe 500 quid's worth of stuff. And obviously, the only reason I went down there is obviously because of this, the PSP, which this alone, in this condition, in its box, could be 60, 70 quid all day long. So again, that's why it is a really good score. I mean, these things happen. They're few and far between, but they do happen. I mean, I've been burnt recently as well. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but it's looking like a Facebook Marketplace deal that I organised, must be about 3 weeks ago yet. I'll talk about it in a bit more detail, probably on another video, but that looks like that hasn't come off, and I've already paid. So it looks like I've been probably scammed out of a little bit of money for that. And then this comes along, so it kind of, this is what happens. This is the game. But yeah, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. So yeah, so that's it. Really pleased. Let me know what you think. It's always nice, I know, when you come across these kind of deals. They're sort of few and far between now, aren't they? I think, but when you come across these kind of deals, and you kind of have to be. It's all about timing. If someone else sees that ad, there's no chance. It's just literally all about timing. And the guy was obviously in a position where he didn't want to keep hold of it anymore. You know, he just wanted rid of it all. He was obviously moving on to other. He had his other projects and everything, and that's great. So it all wins. You know, he's happy, he gets rid of his stuff. I'm happy, I get some great pieces that I wanted to add to the collection, and then I can flip stuff on, and hopefully, you know, add some more bits. So I hope you're all well. Thanks very much for watching, as always, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.